Well, hello, hello. This is Karin Zoe Lee, and you're listening to Lotus Moon Productions. Welcome to the Wrestling Rants Project. Whatever the promotion, we're here to learn and discuss. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the next 45 minutes of wrestling discussion with your hosts, Shugo and James.
Welcome back to the prediction side of LMP Wrestling. Let's dive right into things because there's a lot to get through. We're back today to predict WWE's annual Royal Rumble pay-per-view, and today we have multiple guests to help us out. Not only am I here with my co-host James, but the Big Cat Scott Henson is back as well. So without further ado, let's dive into the podcast because, as I said earlier, there is lots to get through with the Royal Rumble on the men's side, the Royal Rumble on the female side. There's so much. Welcome to the podcast, guys.
Yay! Welcome.
Hello.
And can I just start by saying what my local soccer team says when we're just about to start a match? You're going to be mauled by the Tigers. Mauled by the Tigers. Yeah.
That works out well, and I appreciate you saying soccer for us stupid North Americans.
It's association football, so either goes with me.
Yeah.
We're all diverse here on LMP, supporting people from all over the world. All right, so as I said, there's lots of matches to get through. Well, not lots of matches, but there's a lot to talk about in two.
Yeah, there aren't a lot of matches.
Yeah,
there's two big ones.
Yeah, but we'll start off with the championship matches and kind of work our way up to the big Royal Rumble matches. But I figure it'll take us about 45 minutes to 60 minutes throughout the hour. So if you could be patient with us and wait until the very end, that would be much appreciated. So let's start off with the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, and it's Asuka and Charlotte Flair versus Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler.
I didn't know this match was happening until right now, so thank you for letting me know. I don't know. I guess Asuka and Charlotte retain. Because they won them from Nia and Shayna, right? So I don't see them just going back to them. Also, Nia is maybe the worst wrestler on TV. So I would love it if she A, never got a title again, and B, never wrestled again.
Whoa, controversial.
Is it?
Controversial.
Do people like Nia Jax? She's awful and hurts everyone she wrestles.
Nia Jax likes Nia Jax.
I don't. At this point, I don't even know if that's true.
I mean, it's the two dream tag teams of that division taking flight. Yeah, I'm assuming Charlotte and Asuka win this. And then Shayna and Nia. Oh no, they've fallen apart because they just can't get along.
Oh, like every tag team in WWE, because the same thing is going to happen with Asuka and Charlotte too.
What? Is it?
Yes.
Oh no.
It is.
Oh, spoilers, listeners, spoilers.
Apologies. I should mention I am a member of the WWE creative team. I'm one of the 47 writers they have that don't actually get to use their ideas because Vince actually decides everything. But yeah, it's nice.
Well, I guess I'm that neutral party where I've definitely heard the criticisms of Nia Jax. I certainly can acknowledge them. It's kind of hard not to. There's been a bunch, but yeah, there's been some issues, but I do think that everybody can improve and get better.
No,
but
you're wrong. Most people,
it's been 8
most
years.
people can improve. Some people can't. She's one.
All right. Well, then there you go. So I'll just remain the neutral party. I don't want Nia Jax to kill me at any given time, but at least I have a tiger here to protect me. So, there's Scott.
Like that bitch.
All right. So, in the general consensus, it's Asuka and Charlotte Flair retaining, right?
Yes.
I'm going for double count out.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
I honestly, who really is invested in this match?
Nobody. I didn't know it existed, so that's where I'm at.
I won't lie. I was actually, partially invested in that Charlotte Flair Shayna Baszler, but then when they got DQ'd within a minute, I was just like, nope. And then it restarted, and I was like, oh no.
It's a Monday Night Raw match between two people that can work. Of course, it's going to last like 40 seconds.
Correct.
Yeah. So, I mean, at least on the Royal Rumble, there might be protected. We might get a good 15-minute match on both sides, but that's me hoping too much.
That is hoping a lot, Cody.
Hey, on the side of positive, I'm just trying to.
That optimism.
Yeah, the optimist is going to kill me one of these days. It's almost like curiosity killed the cat.
Exactly. That's why I am neither curious nor optimistic.
Oh my goodness.
Like a cat near water, always cautious.
Exactly.
See?
I love it. I freaking love it. All right, so we're in a general consensus of the Women's Tag Team Championships. Let's step up here to something more interesting, and that is Drew McIntyre versus Goldberg. And between you guys, I really hope that Goldberg does not win this title. I have a gut feeling that WWE is going to WWE it, but we'll see. What do you guys think?
Well, it's interesting. I'm surprised they did it, because I thought they were going to do Goldberg Roman at Mania, because that was the plan last year. It didn't happen, so I figured they'd try to do it this year. But now I don't really see that happening. I don't see him getting world title matches with different people, like 4 different world titles at the Rumble and then Mania. So I guess they're just doing it here. He really shouldn't win. It would be no good for anyone involved. So logic dictates McIntyre, but that doesn't mean a lot in this promotion. But if I had to bet, I guess I'm betting McIntyre, but it's a legitimate concern that Goldberg could win.
The only way Goldberg wins this is because he's a draw on the YouTube and it's in the TV numbers, which, I mean, in this world that WWE exists in right now, does that matter? Probably still matters somewhere. I'm very torn as well. I can see it being Goldberg and I can see it being Drew. I think the thing that struggles, there is no logical path for the title until WrestleMania. Effectively, who do you then get to challenge for?
No, well, here's the thing: it's as it stands. Like, as far as I know, they don't have a plan yet. They're gonna figure it out.
Yeah, it's such a hard thing. Goldberg, can you have him return and lose to Drew? Does that put Drew over? I don't think it does. But then, I mean, they buried the Fiend at Saudi Arabia with Goldberg.
But on the flip side, I think it does hurt Drew if he loses.
Yeah, exactly. So it does more damage to Drew if he loses. If he wins, it kind of doesn't elevate him. Does it damage Goldberg if Goldberg loses? Not really. I think he's done more damage to his legacy, I think, in the past few years than can be redeemed by a loss to Drew. I'd go Drew just by a smidge, but this one's close, I think.
Yeah, I'm in the same place.
Yeah, I've heard a few things being tossed around the interwebs, and I'm thinking that, if Drew McIntyre wins, I do think that's the logic choice going forward, because we want to build that champion up, but also at the same time, WWE is probably thinking maybe on some level that we got to give Drew McIntyre more title wins, to rank up how many titles he's actually won over the years, because they put it on Orton for a week, and then they gave him a second title.
They did.
So
yeah, in hindsight, why did they do that? That was weird.
No.
I don't know if it was because they were trying to give Randy Orton more title wins or give Drew a little boost. I have no idea. It didn't make sense to me. But with if Drew wins, then you're looking at whoever actually wins the Royal Rumble maybe, and then potentially, spoiler alert for my predictions later, but there's two picks that I have between Bray Wyatt and Keith Lee. And I say Keith Lee because Keith Lee and Drew McIntyre do have a little bit of history there, so we could get a banger of a match at WrestleMania between those two. But on the other hand, we could have The Fiend versus Goldberg for what we just finished talking about, how Goldberg got the one-up on The Fiend. And The Fiend never forgets, as we know. So within story, if Goldberg does get the title and The Fiend wins, or Bray Wyatt wins the number one thing at Royal Rumble, then there's also a feud set up there. So either way it could go, but I just don't want to see Goldberg continually doing this. Yes, Braun Strowman did beat him at WrestleMania last year, so they're not against Goldberg losing.
Yeah.
So it could go either way, honestly, but I think logically, just keep it on Drew.
They really should. It's just a matter of if they will, which are often two different things.
Yeah, it depends which way Vince wakes up in that morning, I think.
Pretty much, yeah. Like, even if they know what they're doing today, that's not necessarily what they're doing on Sunday.
And to be fair, it doesn't even matter. It could be during the show. Vince will say the crowd's not popping. Vince, there's no crowd there.
Vince, there's no crowd. I put these holes in my belt. Vince, it's a belt. It's supposed to have holes.
Give me a burrito.
Give me a burrito. Give me one of those meat wraps.
Just a mentally ill old man running a $1 billion company. It's great.
Well,
yeah.
I'm a mentally old man running a podcast, so we have a lot more in common.
You're not old though. You're not old.
You ain't old.
You're only halfway there. You would be better off running the company than Vince.
I can't say that.
No comment.
All right. So honestly, I think logically Drew McIntyre, but I'm gonna pick Goldberg because I really do WWE. I really do think they're gonna do it. Unfortunately, James, who do you got?
Very much possibility, yeah.
I've got Drew by a whisker.
Yeah.
Let's see what I did there.
I've got Drew and whiskers.
And all right, so it's Drew McIntyre, and Goldberg. And honestly, I hope you guys are right. I really do. I'm praying.
Yeah.
All right, so the last championship match of the night is Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens in a last man standing match. And the build up to this has been good at times, and it has been true that Jey Uso has helped Roman Reigns every step of the way. But some of the promos,
and also true with the exception of last week that Kevin Owens gets his ass beaten every single week.
Yeah, that as well. But I mean, some of the promos that have come out of the whole Tribal Chief Roman Reigns thing, Paul Heyman, I think have been great. But the thing I had a problem with this is, and I called this on the podcast a few weeks ago as well. James and I were talking about SmackDown a little bit, and it reminded me of the Money in the Bank match with Brock Lesnar a while back. And I didn't like how the fact that we had this amazing gauntlet match, and I'm sure Shinsuke will get his due now after he had that great performance in the gauntlet match. But that entire gauntlet match was just filler. And I hate filler. I know we get a little bit of filler here and there, and every TV show in the world has like a couple episodes of filler here and there. But when you showcase your wrestlers that much, and to go out there for the next 45 minutes and put on that hell of a segment or match or whatever the hell you want to call it, and then you just have Adam Pearce come out, win it, and then Adam Pearce is like, oh yeah, Kevin Owens is going to be put into it. Kevin Owens wasn't even part of that match. And that made me think of Brock Lesnar. And I'm digging the whole Kevin Owens change of character right now. But Brock Lesnar, Money in the Bank, everybody went out there, they busted their ass for 15, 20 minutes through ladders and whatever. And then Brock Lesnar comes out and just wins it. And that's where that reminded me of it. But I'm sure a last man standing match between Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens will be great. What about you guys?
So, yeah, I think it'll be good. I don't see Owens winning. I just see him losing again, which has sort of been his MO for the entire feud. And, yeah, so if I'm betting, I'm absolutely betting Reigns. Again, they don't particularly have a direction for Mania, but I've got some ideas, which we'll get to in the Rumble talk. But yeah, I see no chance of Owens winning and him just continually getting his ass beaten in this feud.
It feels like I've seen this match quite a few times over the past few months. So that might be why I'm getting deja vu. It's a filler match. It's a typical Royal Rumble filler match. It's got a stipulation attached to it. They'll work a good match. It'll be fun to watch, but there's no drama here. Roman's going to win this. No problem. Hopefully it's just a good time. That's all I'm hoping for. But a last man standing match for a good time. Yeah.
And also hopefully it has like a conclusive finish, because they like to get really cute with last man standing finishes, like tying someone to something. I want someone beaten so badly they can't get up after 10 seconds. That's the point of last man standing. So do that, please.
Please.
Yeah. Yeah, with Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns, I mean, I'm picking Roman Reigns as well. I don't think Kevin Owens is going to win this. And I'm sure, yeah, like I said before, it'll be a great match between the two. But wouldn't it be funny though if Kevin Owens just made it into the Royal Rumble and then won and faced Roman Reigns all over again at Mania?
Faced him again and lost again.
Yeah, I mean, a last man standing match, comes in at number 2, does the Iron Man shift in the Royal Rumble and wins it. Yep, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
One thing I'm predicting, Kevin Owens is coming off something high during this match. There is going to be a high spot with Kevin Owens because he's brilliant at those.
Yeah.
After the Royal Rumble, we're moving into the Elimination Chamber too, so we'll probably have Kevin Owens in that match as well, trying to get that number 1 contender shot, or whoever wins the Royal Rumble really after that.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
And I guess, so do you guys want to move into the female Royal Rumble first, or the men's?
We can do the female.
The female one I have got it completely wide open with this, so this is going to be interesting.
Let's list off the participants of the 30 female Royal Rumble match. Now, so far we have 12 names, but I also listed down some surprises and some possible people who are already on the roster, maybe some NXT people as well. So far we have Alexa Bliss, Bayley, Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, Dana Brooke, Liv Morgan, Mandy Rose, Nia Jax, Peyton Royce, Ruby Riott, Shayna Baszler, and Tamina for that solid 12. And then for possible surprises, I've heard that maybe Eva Marie might make her debut again.
Ooh, Eva Marie. I think she's going all the way.
I know, that's quite the surprise. And maybe Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch might make an appearance despite the pregnancy, despite having a baby.
Oh, no way.
I don't know. This is just surprises. I've looked on the
I don't know. She could. She's had the baby.
Yeah, she could just make it into the ring for just one off, and I know Melina was backstage there a few weeks ago, so maybe she could come in. And I don't know if Taya Valkyrie's contract has expired in Impact yet, but I've heard rumors about that.
Oh, yeah.
As for people on the roster that haven't been announced yet, I thought maybe Sonya Deville, Nikki Cross, Natalya, and then from NXT we could have Shotzi Blackheart, Candice LeRae, Rhea Ripley, and Io Shirai. So I'll start with Scott, and I'll ask 3 names in no particular order that you think might win this year's Rumble and face, well, I mean, is it going to be Asuka? Is it going to be Sasha? Or is it going to be a different champion?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's tricky because both champions are faces right now. And I don't know if a heel is going to win. So I think there might be a title change between now and Mania to a heel, and then a face Rumble winner faces her. But as far as, 3 potential winners, I'm hearing a lot of Bianca Belair, so I'll say her. Then I'll say the person I think should win, which is Rhea Ripley. At the very least, as an apology for the absolute bullshit they put her through for most of last year.
Yep.
And then I'll throw a longer shot on there with Becky Lynch.
All right.
Ooh,
yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So what you need to do in a Royal Rumble, you need to survive. You need to be an expert strategic mind. You need to be able to get to the end, basically. And I mean, there's only one person that can do this, and we saw it at Survivor Series. That's Lana.
Oh, God damn you.
It's so obvious. She is not going to enter. Nia Jax is going to put her through a table. And everybody else is going to eliminate themselves. The 29th person thinks they've won, steps out over the top rope, win, thinking they've won. Oh no, both feet have touched the ground. Oh, Lana's suddenly recovered from the table. In she goes, the winner of the Royal Rumble 2021, Lana.
That would be so funny. Now anything other than that is going to disappoint me. I want that.
James, if Lana wins the Royal Rumble, you've lost a job.
Worth it. Take the L. That's so funny.
So that literally came up with that as Cody was something sparked me about a Soul Survivor. And I thought,
wait a minute, Survivor.
Hold on, Survivor Series. Lana, where's Lana been? Lana hasn't been on TV for ages. Massive pop. She's here.
Yeah. I didn't even include Lana in those names of people who weren't added into it. So, I mean, it sounds like WWE. It sounds like something they could do. So, you know what? I'm not even going to put it past them.
If it sounds impossible.
But they're definitely not punishing her for Rusev, though. It's all part of an earnest babyface push for her.
Yeah,
right,
of course.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. The best way to get over is to be put through a table for 9 weeks in a row.
Put through a table on 11 straight shows. Yeah.
11, sorry. I miscounted. I must have got concussion.
9 or 11, it's too many.
9/11, never forget.
Oh, yeah. See, oh, wow. We got dark off with that.
Whoops. Whoopsie. Anyway, moving swiftly on. I've also got Rhea Ripley as a more serious take, a bit like Scott last year for Rhea. God, they had her so hot and ready.
Do you remember? Yeah, going into Mania last year, she was the hottest woman in the company.
Yeah, end of 2019, Survivor Series on to beating Shayna Baszler. She was on the crest of a wave, and what did they do with her?
They beat her clean with Charlotte because...
Yes, Charlotte wins. And the next person, I've got a toss-up between Bianca Belair, because they've been promoting how athletic she is, but also Bayley as a sneaky win.
Yeah, that's a good sneaky one.
A sneaky little win there. And obviously Sasha Bayley, WrestleMania. Come on.
Yeah, that would make sense, especially because like the Sasha Bayley thing is so weird. Like the non turns for like 3 years, like teasing it, like they're both faces, then they're having a little tension, but no, it's okay. Then they both turn heel, and then they're actually like a really good heel team. But as is the case in WWE, no team can last for more than 4 months. So of course they break up, and obviously, super of the two, Bayley is obviously the one you would naturally go with to go heel, and super likable Sasha is the one to go face. That makes perfect sense. And then they have 2 matches. Sasha wins both clean. The end. So it makes sense to, I don't know, get a little more out of that, maybe.
It's WWE booking.
I will say one team that has lasted longer than 4 months, though, and I gotta give them props, is the New Day. I mean, they're broken up now. Well, not really broken up yet. Fully.
I thought you were going to say Retribution.
Oh yeah, don't get me started on Retribution, James. Don't get me started on them. I could be here all day and then tomorrow and the next day, and I love Mustafa Ali to death, though. I love that man to death. He is amazing talent, amazing on the mic. Retribution is just a piss poor place to put him, but that's all I'll say. As for my picks for the Royal Rumble, those were all good shouts. The Lana one was absolutely hilarious, and Bayley could totally make sense. And Rhea Ripley for sure. The momentum that she had last year when Charlotte won the Royal Rumble, and that's why I think Charlotte's definitely not going to win this year, because she won last year. The whole Rhea Ripley Charlotte Flair feud last year was hot. It was hot. Rhea Ripley came in there. I guess she was penciled in to win, and then things last minute changed because I thought that they thought that maybe that would give more of a reaction. They were trying to give NXT some ratings with Charlotte going down to NXT.
It's because Charlotte complained. Charlotte complained she was promised it earlier, so as not to rock the boat, they let her win. That's what happened.
Yeah. Well, whatever reason it was, Rhea Ripley was the winner in my mind. She had so much momentum going into Mania, even with no crowd. I was red hot for Rhea Ripley last year, and I want that to come back again. And then I know she went on a bit of a not losing streak, but a lot of matches that she lost up until now. So, but she's starting to build herself back up in NXT. So Rhea Ripley is definitely one of my picks. Bianca Belair was also a good shout. I think she's one of the top contenders. But honestly, and well, maybe I am a little bit biased, but I'm going for my girl Alexa Bliss. I think this is her year.
I knew it was coming.
Yeah, I think Alexa Bliss, she's gonna go dark, crazy, supernatural, whatever. And honestly, I have to say, despite the ups and downs from the whole Fiend, the Firefly Funhouse, Bray Wyatt, Alexa Bliss, honestly, the character development within Alexa Bliss over the past year has been actually incredible. She got captured by the Fiend. She's been slowly turning dark. Obviously, there's still a side in her that's scared and she's trying to get out. Like, there's a lot of depth to that if you really analyze it. So, I'm enjoying the character change within her and how, I guess, her babyface self is trying to get out. At one point, she called for Nikki like a month or so ago, and she was trying to like help me. And then this time, she transformed against Asuka, and she didn't know where she was, and so it's like it's really like
is she doing costume changes mid-match now? Is that a thing that's happening?
Oh yeah. She's got all the supernatural hocus pocus nonsense going on. So, I mean, with that going, but then we have also Randy Orton, who RKO'd her at the end of the show on Monday. So I'm thinking, when it comes to the men's Royal Rumble, we're either going to get a blow off with Edge and Randy Orton, and they're going to set up their match for Mania, because I do not see Orton going for the title again right now. I don't. It was too many times in 2020.
Because the original plan, like almost a year ago, for this year's Mania was Edge Orton for the title, but I don't know if that's happening anymore.
Yeah, I think the injury kind of messed everything up there. And then we had Randy Orton versus Drew for like 3 or 4 months, which was just exhausting for me after a while. So I mean, it was nice having the legends come in there and mix it up a bit, but Randy Orton's whole persona with the Fiend and what's going on there with Bray Wyatt, I think there's still something there. I think they can carry that on to Mania. Since Bray Wyatt hasn't been on TV now in a month, I think that's when the Fiend will make his appearance at the Royal Rumble. I think he'll come in, he'll screw Randy Orton out of that shot, and they'll finish whatever. And whether the Fiend sends him off TV for a month and a half, or it just goes into the Edge feud at Mania, I just think the Fiend's going to screw Randy Orton over because of what happened on Monday night. So Alexa Bliss is in the contendership there, but again, it could go either way, in my opinion, with Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss. That's 1 Raw, 1 SmackDown, and 1 NXT. So I think that's pretty even all around.
Yep. Lana.
And Lana,
of course,
yeah,
Lana.
Lana, of course, Lana. Yeah, don't forget about Lana. I couldn't if I tried.
That's how she's going to win. Everybody's going to forget about her.
She went, I'm telling you.
That is kind of her MO, is being forgotten about. So that is her path to victory.
I can't wait for the victory celebration on Raw on Monday night. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my, I can't. I just can't. If that happens, I don't even know what to do. I'll be thinking of you two though. I'll be like, oh my god. I'll be messaging you both away. I'll be just, oh my. All right. So
back to what you're saying. Do you think it's going to be Orton Fiend or Orton Edge at Mania?
That depends where things go between Elimination Chamber and Fastlane. This year they have them mixed up. Fastlane usually first and then Elimination Chamber, but they swapped them this year. But I don't know how they're going to do that. I don't know if the blow up match.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
So I've got a different plan for Edge. I've got AJ Styles and Edge for WrestleMania because Edge has said on his podcast years ago that he'd love to have been with AJ and had a match with AJ. So
okay, that's cool.
I think it's something a little bit different, and I think the Fiend and Randy together is a WrestleMania match on its own.
Yeah,
I think
they were so good at WrestleMania last time they were with each other.
I quite like that match.
Oh, did you then?
But
okay.
But I think it's because I was so happy just to see Edge back, and I've never watched the match.
We're talking about different things. Sorry, I'm talking about Orton Wyatt in 2017.
Oh no,
matches I've ever seen.
No. That's terrible. That's
Are we talking about that house fire match thing?
The maggots on the canvas.
Yes.
It was built up with the house fire. Yes.
Yeah. The magnets and everything.
worms on the ring.
But to be fair, though, the Firefly Funhouse match, though, last Mania with John Cena was incredible. I thought that was fantastic.
The
It was something. It wasn't a match, but it was something.
It was what was needed, but the only worry I have is John Cena has become self-aware. Randy Orton doesn't come across like that in anything he does, really. So yeah, I don't know. I'd be worried that he wouldn't want to go as far as John Cena went with it.
That's a good segue into the Men's Royal Rumble too, because that's one of the surprises is John Cena making an appearance, but he just disappeared from the wrestling universe, I guess, or the WWE universe at Mania last year. So before we dive into the 3 picks for the Men's Royal Rumble, these are all the contestants, and these are the surprises and people who haven't been announced yet. So we'll start off with there's 17 participants, and it's AJ Styles, Big E, Bobby Lashley, Cesaro, Daniel Bryan, Dolph Ziggler, Edge, Jeff Hardy, Jey Uso, John Morrison, Mustafa Ali, Otis, Randy Orton, Sami Zayn, Sheamus, Shinsuke Nakamura, The Miz. And as for people who haven't been announced, Bray Wyatt, King Corbin, Buddy Murphy, but don't say Buddy, Andrade, Braun Strowman, Samoa Joe, Aleister Black, Seth Rollins, and then a few NXT people there, maybe just to show off NXT a little bit more. Adam Cole, Finn Balor, Johnny Gargano. And then possible surprises I've heard anywhere between Brock Lesnar. I've heard John Cena. I've heard The Rock. And, everybody always chucks in CM Punk.
Sure. Yeah.
So we'll start with Scott. Top, not three picks in no particular order.
3 picks in no particular order. Well, first I'm going to say Daniel Bryan. 1, because he's the one I would like to win the most. And 2, they do seem to be kind of building that way. They keep pushing the never won a Royal Rumble thing with him. Yeah. Which either means he's going to, or he's going to get close and they'll yank it away from him, which is honestly, now that I say it out loud, more their style. But I'll say him, because you could definitely do him and Roman at Mania. That's definitely an option. Then who else? Let's go. Let's go a little more outside chances for both of the other 2. So I'll look smart if they win. Let's go Edge and Brock for the other 2.
All right. Yeah. Brock gets his revenge for last year.
Yeah.
So it is wide open. Like 3 months
it is.
ago.
It's interesting that there's some years where it's so obvious, like there's only one possible winner, and other years where like, I don't know, could be anyone. Because I feel like last year was pretty open. I don't think everyone was saying, oh, it's going to be McIntyre. Whereas in past years, they're like, oh, of course, it's this one person.
Yeah. A couple of years ago, it was certain it was Seth. Like it's this year, like
Seth for sure.
Yeah, like 3 months ago, everybody was saying it's Big E, but they seem to have cooled off that idea, and he's got the IC title.
Yeah, that's the thing. So I don't see
what
him
do
winning.
you do?
Good, but who knows?
Yeah, you can't. I can't imagine you'd have the IC title holder winning the Royal Rumble, because then you've got the problem of a double champ booking later on, but then you've got to somehow get the IC title off him whilst keeping him strong to be a legitimate challenger for the title at WrestleMania. So yeah, Big E for me is out of there. I'm similar. Daniel Bryan Roman Reigns match would be great to see, and the same, like they keep stressing that he's never won a Royal Rumble match, and we know that Daniel Bryan is,
even though he should have in 2014.
Agreed.
That's 7 years ago. You're still holding 15.
That. Still holding it.
Still holding it. Just
that. Hey. You know that cats hold grudges.
Yeah. And also he's like, maybe the best wrestler of all time and kind of deserves better.
Agreed. But so yeah, Daniel Bryan is there. I've got Kentucky Fiend Chicken.
Very nice, KFC.
Coming in and doing it, but I don't know. That one's more of a we'll see kind of thing. I just expect him to see. I expect to see Seth Rollins in this match. He probably wants to get away from his screaming child. But no, my pick is, so we know that they're going to announce number 30 on one of their little shows that they have.
Yeah, backstage.
Yeah, on like a Saturday or Sunday preview show or something.
Yeah. So they're going to ruin the surprise of number 30 on this show. So, this is why I hark back to Money in the Bank 2 years ago. Mustafa Ali is on top of the ladder, and all of a sudden, we hear some music hit. So, entering at number 31, Brock Lesnar to win the Men's Royal Rumble.
At 31, I like it.
At 31.
I'll kill it. I will. I'll kill it. That just throws my OCD out the window having an odd number. No, it's possible. It's definitely possible. And as for Big E with with the whole double champion thing, I mean, there's been many cases where I think an intercontinental champion has lost their title in between Mania and Rumble. So the chance of Big E winning and then losing
Strowman last year, actually.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, Big E could be one of those contenders, but as for my
Strowman's Universal reign was well regarded.
Yeah,
absolutely, and was definitely supposed to happen in the first place, and wasn't just a replacement for Roman.
No, not at all. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I mean, that could happen too. I don't know, but what if Goldberg somehow manages to get in there and then goes after Roman Reigns after he loses against Drew? So I don't know what they're gonna do.
You definitely could.
It could happen. Yeah, Battle of the Spears.
Yeah, it could happen because that's what they wanted to do last year. But my 3 picks are definitely Daniel Bryan was one of them. There's been too much talk about him never winning. And wasn't it him and Roman Reigns that were the last 2 there back in 2014?
Yes.
Yeah, was it? Was he out earlier?
I seem to remember him and Roman being the last 2 at some point.
Okay.
So
yeah, and then I think The Rock came out because everybody was booing Reigns because they wanted Daniel Bryan to win, and The Rock couldn't even save Reigns at that time. So yeah, I remember The Rock coming out and raising Roman Reigns' hand, and everybody was like, "No."
No, even though we like Rock, we hate Roman more.
Yeah, Rock was like, "Man, damn."
It's the still picture of that is just like, oh my god, I've done something.
Looks like looks like the last one eliminated by Roman in 2015 was Rusev.
Was it Rusev? Okay.
Rusev.
Yep.
Oh. Wow, whatever happened to him?
He just disappeared.
Who knows? Never heard from again.
I know he's got a twin brother over in the other wrestling company, but I don't know.
Yeah.
He likes video games.
Yeah, he likes video games. Yeah. So my other 2 picks, I think, as I mentioned earlier, Keith Lee. There's a little bit of story there with Drew McIntyre. I think that would go really well. Keith Lee, Drew McIntyre, tear down the house at Mania. There's an epic, barn burner of a match there if they just give them time, let them go.
Yeah, it would be good, but I don't know if they see that as a WrestleMania title match.
No,
yeah,
that's like B pay-per-view match.
Yeah.
Even if Keith Lee can get to that level again. In their eyes.
If he's allowed out of the performance center after being sent back down there to learn how to work.
There's been some good showcases though with him on Raw, like the Spanish Fly he did there a few weeks back.
And almost paralyzed himself. That one was dicey.
It was crazy though. Like that Keith Lee is incredible. He's an absolute incredible wrestler.
He's awesome if they just let him wrestle like he did on the Indies, which is it's always so like
that sounds familiar.
Ironic. Well, it's so ironic that like they get signed for being spectacular on the Indies and then are signed and are immediately taught to not be spectacular.
Like Ricochet.
It's very counterintuitive.
Ricochet's become our go-to
fucking Ricochet.
Sadness on a stick. It's like you've got Ricochet. I mean, Aleister Black.
Like,
where's Aleister Black?
That you have Ricochet? Because I don't know if you do.
WWE fooled me. They got me. When I was watching NXT there a couple of years ago, I was like, oh man, this Ricochet guy, he's amazing. I can't wait to see him go up the main shows. There's no way they can ruin Ricochet.
What
they
you
got
wish
me.
for.
It's why I always worry about Adam Cole. Because
Yeah.
what
Adam Cole is screwed. I mean, Matt Riddle and Ricochet are both can't miss guys, and both
Yeah.
are now missed.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, I can't. Matt Riddle was fantastic in NXT, but this overproduced, like, I'm always high, but I'm not thing with Matt Riddle is just, it's bad. It's really bad.
It's shocking.
The worst thing you can ever do in WWE is be funny. Because if Vince ever laughs at something you do, that's what you're doing for the rest of your life, no matter how good a wrestler you are.
It's like one of those people that carry on a joke 30 years later.
Yeah. A lot.
And does anybody know what happened to Dean Ambrose?
Yeah. I have to tell you that John Moxley rejuvenation with that 8-month title run, he seems like he seems like a megastar now.
I mean, he's happy now, which is kind of a big change maker for him.
Yeah. So between Keith Lee and Daniel Bryan, I really do think Bray Wyatt will be the other one, but Bray Wyatt will only win if Goldberg wins. That's where I'm sitting there. I don't think Bray Wyatt's going to win if Drew retains, but I really do. There is a story. It's not completely random. People will remember that Saudi Arabia event. They'll remember that that Goldberg whooped the Fiend and kind of buried him there, and it's been within the storyline. So if we can get the Fiend back on top against Goldberg and take the title off of Goldberg, then yeah, there's a story there. I don't like it. I don't like the fact that Goldberg that would beat Drew, but at the same time, the saving grace there is the Fiend beating him and taking the title back at Mania.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so those are our 3 picks for each. Now, just to get creative and fun with it, Scott, if you could give a number for both Rumbles, what number do you think is going to win?
All right. So women's, if I'm picking one person, it's Ripley. And so I'll say she'll be in the early 20s. I'm going to say 22 for women's. And if it's Daniel Bryan on the men's, he's got great cardio. He could go. Has he been number 1 before? If he hasn't been number 1 before, I could see it. Was he number 1 in 14 or 15?
I honestly can't remember.
He's been very early. I know he's been early.
He was number 10 in 15, and he was number Daniel Bryan in 14 was not in it. That's right.
Oh, I wonder. Yeah, because that's when Rey Mysterio came out, and
exactly. That's when Rey Mysterio was 30, and in a spot where people would otherwise be excited to see Rey Mysterio, were very angry that it was not Daniel Bryan.
Yes.
So yeah, I'll say number 1.
Ooh. It's funny that you picked 22 for the females, because that's what I was thinking for Alexa Bliss. She'd be number 22.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah. I was thinking 22 would be the one, but for my men's, I was thinking 17, just because.
It's a good number. I'm going for Lana to come out at number 14 and storm it.
I love it.
And yeah, I suppose I can't have number 31. So I'm going to say that Brock Lesnar maybe beats up number 30 and comes in at number 30, a bit like Nia Jax did to R-Truth a couple of years ago, and decided, yeah, this is how it works. I just beat up the guy and take his spot. Yeah, that's how. So yeah, I'm going number 30 for the men's. You watch someone rubbish be announced on Saturday morning. Yeah, if R-Truth is it, we know something's going on.
Then you're probably right. Yeah.
Then I'm in the money.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm going to use that as a segue too for the last question of the Royal Rumble Prediction Podcast. You mentioned money. Will The Miz successfully cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase? Yes or no on Drew McIntyre or Goldberg? Because that'll shake things up too for Mania.
It sure will, but no, and I will go further to say that he will never successfully cash in the briefcase.
Is there an actual time limit on the briefcase? Has anybody run out of time on it before?
No one's run out of time. I believe you have until
The next
Money in the Bank.
Correct. Sorry, I just had to. You can all shoot me now. It's fine.
So yeah, I can't. What? I don't know what they're doing with the Money in the Bank briefcase. I don't. Well, they don't.
They
know what
don't
they're doing.
either. They put it on Otis with no intention of him ever cashing it in, and then their clever fix to that was putting it on Miz, who they also don't want to win.
But he then was in a. See, going back to TLC, why would you go? Oh yeah, mate. Go and cash that in. I'll enter this match that's really dangerous instead of, oh, you know what? Let's wait for them to beat themselves silly.
Yeah, let's wait for them to kill each other and then lie on one of their bodies afterwards.
There we go. Win. So, yeah. No. There's short answer, no. There we go.
Yeah.
I think he's going to attempt to cash it in, but he's actually going to have a true attempt. Like, he's going to physically cash it in. It's going to be gone. It's going to be over.
He will actually officially lose the briefcase.
Yes.
So,
I think that's going to happen. I don't think he's. Sorry, go ahead, Scott.
I was just saying it's possible that happens. I just think there's no way he's being successful with it.
Yeah, and speaking of Otis too, honestly, that pissed me off. I was so behind Otis winning. I love the story between him and Mandy Rose, and they just crapped all over it. And this is what happens. You get your audience invested. Everybody loves it. They're like, oh yeah, Otis and Mandy, they're the awesome thing ever. And then just blow it up for no apparent reason. And it's like, well, I'm done. That was my feel good couple. Like I thought that was great.
We've still got the WrestleMania blow-off match between Tucker and Otis to come. Come on.
Oh yeah, Tucker's been all over TV. It's quite the feud we got brewing there.
He's a massive heel.
I didn't even mention any of the 24/7 people that are going after R-Truth. They could pop up in the Rumble as well, but they definitely won't win.
Here's how inept they are. When they did the draft, they accidentally drafted Tucker and Otis to different brands, and then remembered and put Tucker back on the same brand as Otis, and then still didn't do the feud anyway. This is who we're dealing with.
Yep. I was about to ask as well a really stupid question of who was the 24/7 champion, but of course it's R-Truth. So
I assume it's R-Truth.
I mean, I don't know who was the last person to have it other than R-Truth.
The gobbledygooker.
No, someone else.
He won that Survivor Series. I'm sure others have won in the last 2 months. I just have no idea.
Yeah, it's at 20.
Rob Gronkowski,
yes.
Longest reigning champion. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And Super Bowl participant in a week.
Yeah, it's the 24/7 7-Eleven I-95 North American European Championship.
9/11.
You know what? The 24/7 thing, when they brought it back, like, they're kind of copying the whole, hardcore title thing. I thought it was an interesting concept at first, but there have been so many cases where popular guys could have taken it, even MVP in the Hurt Business. You know what I mean? Like, he could have easily taken it and made it something. Or, even AJ Styles' bodyguard there, he could have taken it the other week. And I'm just like, if you take it and you put it on a guy like that, is it Osmos or Amos? Or I'm trying to
Omos, I think. Yeah.
It's a really difficult name to say.
You put it on a guy like him, that 24/7 title is going to get, important really fast, because ain't nobody going to get it off of him. Good luck rolling him up.
Yeah. So, and it didn't on Raw this past week, didn't AJ Styles just beat Truth clean in a match? But it wasn't for the title, even though it's a 24/7 title.
Yeah, but sometimes
I thought I read that wrong. I'm like, oh, there must be something else to it. But I guess that's actually just what happened.
Sometimes you defend it in official matches as well.
Yeah, but not this one.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's a very prestigious title.
And at this point, I wouldn't mind if not just for a joke, but I wouldn't mind if the women got a hold of it for a good year and they brought some attention to it, because actual good attention, not like a cowardly attention. Put the 24/7 title on Lana.
She'd be the greatest champion ever.
She would be Lana #1. Remember,
because no one would even remember to challenge her for it.
Nope.
Oh my God.
You wouldn't see her.
it's
It's the whole John Cena thing. You can't see her? No, because she ain't on TV.
Yep.
But really, though, in seriousness, though, I think the women having a crack at it. Like I know a lot of women have had it for jokes on Legends Nights and stuff like that. But I think having it, in the women's division for a while, I think would make it a little bit more interesting again. But what do I know?
Yeah. I mean, they've got a thriving women's tag team scene, so they're really, really busy with that at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. With all the women's teams they have, like at least 3.
Oh, you're going as high as that.
I was gonna say 2, but I'm like, there must be a third. I can't think of it, but there must be.
Yeah.
And I really do feel for Adam Wilborn there over on What Culture with the Iconics breaking up. I was with him. I was like, how dare you break up that team? That was the best.
I love that, like, Peyton Royce makes a tweet saying, like, Billie Kay is my best friend. I do not want to team with anyone but her. Next week, teaming with Lacey Evans.
Oh, but she doesn't like Lacey Evans, though. She's tired of her. All the dirty looks that she gives her and everything.
Of course, because imagine a team getting along, working together. The very idea of it.
Yeah, I don't know, but we will wrap things up there, guys. Thanks so much for coming on, Scott. It was great chatting to you again.
Yeah, you too. My pleasure.
Yeah, are you going to be watching the Royal Rumble on this Sunday, or just kind of keeping away?
I am actually going to watch it. It'll be the first pay-per-view I've watched since Mania, and the first one I've watched live since last year's Rumble.
Well, good. That means you can experience the Thunderdome.
I can experience the Thunderdome. I'm very excited.
And do you have any social media there to shout out for everybody, so anybody can find you?
I can. You can find me on Twitter at not Scott Henson. YouTube, same thing, I think. Listen to my podcast, The Worst Year of Our Lives. We just did the 2020 year-end wrestling awards. And yeah, that's all the main stuff.
Nice. And how is 321 Battle doing over there? Is it coming back anytime soon?
No.
No. Okay. Well.
Yeah.
That answers that. All right. And James, we're gonna get your socials fixed up soon, eh? Because LMP Jam is out of commission.
I cannot remember my password, and yes,
it
is very awkward. So yes, all those thousands of people that have been getting in contact with me, I'm sorry for you not getting a response.
Don't worry, it happens to all of us. All of those times where we're like, you know what, we just got to make a new account. All right. Well, with that, you can find all of our socials at SoundCloud under Lotus Moon Productions, Facebook under Lotus Moon Productions, Twitter under Lotus Moon Prod, Lotus M Productions on Instagram for the music side of things, and you can search us on YouTube under Lotus Moon Productions. Well, this has been LMP Wrestling. Enjoy the Royal Rumble, and we are signing off.